Philadelphia as a city has had trouble with Boston. They're a great team.
The prerequisite to achievement is belief. You have to believe that you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to try, you're not going to exert yourself, you're not going to put yourself out there, both in sports, in life, in anything. And in this game, Philadelphia was finally starting to put themselves out there and believe that they could do it.
Throughout the whole game, we've been really great on offense, we've been shutting down on defense.
We felt good, we were playing well.
And as the game went on, they just kept scoring on offense, easily, smoothly. But then it all changed.
Towards the end, I think there was like 2 minutes left, and we're up 4, and somehow managed to blow that lead, which was devastating.
Tyler Chan overthrows Josh Marquette in the end zone, and at that point, I was sure that the game was over when I was watching this. Except that's not the case. Josh Marquette hand blocks Gabe Colton on the end zone, picks up the disc, and throws a goal.
And they did one of those trick plays that they did a couple times where they dropped the pole like 5 yards in the end zone.
Philadelphia dumps the disc back, and Dave Bayer drops the disc.
To me, I remember thinking that I had blown the game when I dropped that one pass.
And then Boston scores on maybe a 2 or 3 throw possession to go all the way back upfield. Philly had another chance on offense after Boston had a midfield pull on which Nick Hairnet threw a turnover to Trey Katzenbach in the end zone. At that point, you're just like, oh, is this starting to happen? And so at that point, they score that one more quick goal, and then we go into overtime. That 2.5 minutes were some of the most exciting Frisbee that I've watched of any type, because Boston kept doing this thing that you didn't think was possible.
At some point, Glazer gave like a super animated speech. He's like a pretty fiery guy, especially if he thinks people aren't playing to their potential, and he kind of lit a fire under us all.
That was a big moment for us as a team, because we've had that happen to us before, and it's been 100% no doubt we lost the game.
You could see the doubt creeping in for Philadelphia a little bit, but they weren't totally out of it.
In the overtime, we were just thinking, especially as an offensive line where we had just kind of blown several points in a large lead, we just could not make any more mistakes.
That should have been a 4-point victory, a 5-point victory, even a 6-point victory for Philadelphia. That should have never, ever have been in overtime.
They had the disc, I think, up 1, and we turned it. They called a timeout. We brought the defense in, and it was one of the best goal line stands I think I've ever been a part of. They just couldn't get anybody open, and it took we drove them back probably half the length of the field, wasted a minute or two, and were able to get a turn.
They stalled him out. His time was running out.
I remember Billy throwing something up to Jake that made me think, what was Billy thinking? And then Jake skied a pile, because that's what Jake does. When we scored to take it to double overtime, when Jake made that big catch, I knew that even though I had let my team down, someone else was going to pick me up. Someone was going to have my back. And that confidence at that moment was a big thing for me that I remember.
The second overtime is what really stands out to me, because that's the sudden death overtime. So you're playing double game point. Whoever wins this one goes home, and that's it. It's untimed. There's no more clock. It's all removed. It's back to very simple. These are our 7 versus your 7.
I remember, we moved the disc pretty well, but I remember we were basically on one sideline, so I think it wasn't that many throws, but everything was towards the far sideline, and I remember Trey's catch was pretty close. So as soon as he caught it, I just busted up line, and I beat my guy, and there was just very, very little room for error, but he squeezed it in, and as soon as I caught it, I think I just slammed it on the ground, and I just kind of was just like having a moment.
Dave Bayer sees that goal happen, raises his hands in celebration, and then drops to his knees and says, "Thank you, we did it, we're here, we did it." And Hairnet makes this catch, which is kind of routine. It's kind of just an upline cut, but the meaning of the upline cut is so, it's powerful, because it shows his team and his teammates that, yes, we can do this. And then he sort of embodies that forcefulness and that sense of purpose in the way that he drops the disc down, spikes the disc down, however we want to parse that language or whatever, and then walks away striding powerfully.
Getting that win gave us the confidence that even when things don't go right, somebody, whether it's Jake or Billy or Davini or Leon, somebody's going to make a big play and get us the chance to be successful.
We had very good matchups with them going into club season as well, and it really just maybe opened the door for Philadelphia to realize, like, hey, we can beat these guys. I mean, they're good, but we're just as good. So hopefully that's what took.
You could see the way that Philadelphia played for the rest of the season. Like, they believed that they could do it, whether it was specifically a result of this one game or what they were building to, that this game manifest a little bit better. I'm not sure, but the way that they played for the rest of the season was more powerfully than they had played over the course of the previous couple seasons.
To be in a game like that where there's so many switches and so many huge plays, it just makes it that much better when you come away with the win.